My name is Dr. Tara Kristoff. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning at Rock Falls Elementary School District 13. So I kind of took a very circuitous route to get to where I currently am. I went to the University of Illinois at Chicago, where I majored in English and political science because I said I'm going to go to law school. When I was a senior, I was in classes with the secondary ed majors who were going to be English teachers at high school. And I loved it. Like I loved the class. At this point, I already had law school acceptances as well as rejections that had come in. And I remember I went home and I said, I don't think I want to go to law school. I think I want to be a teacher. That didn't go over well. But I had really great advice from a professor who had said, you can always go back and get a degree in education, but this might be your only shot to go to law school. So I went to the law school at Ohio State University. I graduated, I came back and practiced not only in the Illinois bar, but the federal bar as well. And I practiced for about 5 years, but that itch to get into education actually never really left. In 2001, I started education courses at Dominican University, and I graduated in 2006, where I worked as a teacher. After a couple of years, I took courses for my administrative certificate. And then after that, I took a couple more courses for the superintendent endorsement as well as to get my doctorate. So I then also have a doctorate from the University of Illinois in education. I'll be honest with you. More important than the academic skills is the executive functioning skills for not only being a teacher, but for any career. So it's the ability to think critically, it's the ability to speak eloquently, it's the ability to be responsible, it's the ability to be professional. Those are skills that you learn in your academic classes. So it's important to make sure you are proficient in math and proficient in English, but more importantly, it's these other skills that you need that would transfer to any position, to any job. And those are why it's important to stick through your high school courses, because those are the skills that you're taught. And you may not realize it. A lot of high school students don't realize that that's really what you're being taught. My father came from Palestine and my mother came from the Philippines. My dad came here to study at DePaul University, and my mom had already come over with her bachelor's degree. My dad also at the time had a bachelor's degree in medical technology as well. However, DePaul University did not recognize a foreign bachelor's degree, so he had to redo his bachelor's degree. And he got it in biology and he became a hospital administrator. My mom became a director of medical technology for Kankakee Community College. They never knew the K-12 educational landscape. I had to show them that. I was the oldest in my family. They learned that system through me. And so I always carried that knowledge when I was a teacher and when I became an administrator, knowing that there are families like the one I came from. And so we had to make the ability to access education as easy as possible for these families. That's always been my mission, was to make the school system accessible for any and all families, and then for their children to understand that you can be successful through this. I am just an example, but there's many of me that have done this and that it can be done. If I can give any word of advice to my high school self, it would have been to research careers. And we didn't have the internet at that time, so I had to go to a library and just I would have had to look things up. But I would have really asked a lot of my family members better. I would have asked my friends, parents better about what are the different career opportunities out there. The Pathway program with Rock Falls High School just started in August, so we're all new to this. But I would 100% recommend it for any high school student who's even thinking about a career in education, because it exposes them to the day in the life of the teacher before spending 4 years of taking classes and then realizing at that 4th year when you're student teaching that maybe this wasn't the decision I should have made. They can actually make that decision now, and working with the teachers here, they get the raw, unbiased look at what a day in the life of a teacher is. I'll give you an example. We have a young lady right now who is interning in our 6th grade classroom for math, but she really works with the 6th grade team. Last session, she was with kindergarten, and she thought that she wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. And it took being with kindergarten for 8 weeks for her to realize that that is actually not the area she really wants to be with. And so now she's here and she's figuring out that it's actually middle school that she actually wants to work with. But instead of waiting after 4 years and doing it in student teaching, she's realizing that as a high schooler. So she'll be better prepared to make these decisions when she goes to college.